When we talk about contact literature, a question which faces the contact literature writer is the variety to choose, as to which variety they should choose. Whether people confess it openly or whether they do it indirectly or more subtly, many people still look to the native English as the model for not only the rules for language use but also for literatures when they write literature in English. So there are people who still look to the native varieties of English as the model for the use of English generally and also for literature. This spread of English in the outer circle countries and its institutionalization in these countries has led to the pluricentricity of English, which means we do not anymore have a center where the native English varieties rule or where native English varieties have the central position. Now we have several centers. We do not have a monocentric kind of model of English anymore, or a monocentric kind of situation as far as the use of English is concerned. It has now become pluricentric, which means we have several centers for the use of English where we have different varieties, and each variety looks at a particular region, a particular model of English as their target. So these users of English, sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously, use a particular variety and use and develop that particular variety. They select a particular variety and follow it in their day-to-day uses of the language and other more serious uses of the language, for example, for academic purposes and for literary purposes. So many successful writers of contact literature do not follow the inner circle model. These writers have become accomplished, they are acknowledged all over the world, and they have preferred to choose a non-native variety of English, a local variety of English, and do not use the inner circle varieties for their writing. These varieties differ in many ways, depending on the context in which they are being used. They differ in terms of formal characteristics, for example, the grammatical rules, etc., sentence structure. They also differ in thought patterns as to what kind of thoughts are being expressed using English language, and also what kind of functions are being expressed through that language. How are those thoughts which are being expressed with the use of English, how is the link shown between them? And what kind of discourses are made using the local variety of English? So depending on all these factors, the varieties differ. The most creative writers from Africa and Asia have shown a preference for the use of a local variety of English to the inner circle varieties of English. They believe that native variety of English will not be able to express the true spirit of the thoughts, the culture, or the aspirations that they want to express through their writings. Native variety, which is foreign to them, will not be able to express those thoughts, or at least the complete or true spirit of those thoughts. These writers include Arundhati Roy, the famous Indian writer, and also Pakistani writer Kamla Shamsi, and many African writers as well. According to a famous Indian English writer, English should be decolonized. The writers believe that following a native variety of English is like perpetuating the colonization, the spirit of colonization. And they believe that in order to manifest their own identity and to assert their own identity, they have to get rid of the English which was which they have inherited from the colonial times. So they believe that English should be completely decolonized. By that, they mean that it should have a local flavor, the flavor of the region in which it is being developed, so that it is able to express the true spirit of the people whose thoughts and feelings the literature is expressing.